People of the internet, a Rogansphere comedian loses it on Marc Maron, and Little Louie admits we were right about his comedy special. And we're going to learn all about it right meow.
Let's talk about it. I don't really care enough about this, but I did think it was kind of interesting. Marc Maron shitting on Joe Rogan, which I'm not like, Joe Rogan doesn't need my defense, but why is Marc Maron such a fucking, what happened to him? Like, what does he
Who
care?
is that? Who's
Marc
Marc
Maron's
Maron?
a comic who's like, he's always been pretty funny. Like, and I've met Marc Maron a few
What
times.
kind of comedy does he do to?
Just kind of like, he's a real pro. 30-year
he's a great
pro,
comic.
35-year pro, like legit, really good. Had one of the first like big podcasts ever. What the fuck with Marc Maron, WTF?
Okay.
You know,
He had Obama on. Like,
he was
a huge show.
before people were having politicians on. Like he had Obama on back in the day. And he's
So it's like a Bill Maher kind of thing.
No, he's more like philosophically political, like in the way of like he's like your liberal.
Yeah, he's not a political guy, but he's like he kind of is in a weird way.
He's like an intellectual.
Yeah, he's a great.
Okay.
Yeah,
I every time I've met him, I've really liked him as well. But it's like he's just making it his whole identity now that his podcast has ended to just trash the whole Rogansphere and all those guys.
what did he do?
Trash how? Yeah.
He's just like he just keeps on going on podcasts talking shit about all of these comics. So play some of the clip, Shannon.
I just didn't think that
Off
comedy
stage.
was for
that
the
guy.
jocks, you know?
Yeah.
He came in as a kickboxing champion, and then the whole Fear Factor thing. It's just like, to me, and then he co-opted, this idea that he was somehow, representing Hicks, and that bothered me. That, but look, he paid his dues. He's a real comic.
Yeah.
But the sphere of men that he attracted to were the opposite of me.
Yes.
And and I
Pause it for
I
a
never-
second. But why do comedy fans need to be you? Like,
well, he's not saying that. I think he's just saying like he's different from me, right?
well, no,
I didn't mean to interrupt
he's
you,
talking.
actually.
No, it's fine. He's
Yeah.
talking about.
He's saying he doesn't fit in the crowd, right? And that, I mean, the Rogansphere is pretty extreme with their comedy, their slurs, their racism, and all of that stuff. So it's not like something that's not understandable for Marc Maron or most anybody. When you're in that environment where somebody could drop a slur, somebody could make somebody fun of somebody's ethnicity, their race, the color of their skin, whatever. It's a tense situation and you don't want to be in it. And to be honest, he's talking about the bro crowd, the dumb jock bro crowd. And that's what it is. And also I have to say, see, we're setting the tone. We found this clip. And the whole comedy world's talking about. I mean, sometimes I just got to say it because we're leading the charge, folks. We're leading the charge.
How sort of he said it multiple times in different ways, but essentially Rogan and sort of that whole universe has attracted non-comedy fans to comedy. But isn't that a good thing? Like, isn't it a good thing to bring people that wouldn't normally be buying tickets, buying merch, getting what Rogan's done? And I'm not going to suck his dick here. Rogan's always been good to me. Every time I've called him to do his podcast when I have to promote something, he says yes. It's fucking great, right? It's a good position to be in because it's the biggest show.
Yeah, that's
the biggest show on the planet.
What a platform, right?
Yeah.
But you're talking about like a guy who has created like he's moved the needle in a real way for comedy. What Rogan has done, he's made comedy. He's a big part of the engine that brought comedy to this peak.
Right.
Now you have guys that are doing like fucking arenas like Shane Gillis and Tony Hinchcliffe and fucking Andrew Schultz and Nate Bargatze. It's a part of it is the fact that Rogan said, hey, people should be paying attention to comedy. And that is just a net positive. Right. That trickles down to everybody that is coming up in every club. It's only good for comedy. Yes, are there some fucking bros that are fucking like, or that are more into like the other? Sure. But at the same time, it's like, what is, I don't understand the negativity that he feels towards Rogan's audience, and which are very much, I'm sure he's got a lot of fans because Rogan went out and fucking created such a universe.
It's crazy how the Rogansphere misses the point. The thing is that they're focusing on is what Joe Rogan brought to comedy and how he moved the needle. And they're not even addressing Marc Maron's, like, one of his main arguments is the slurs, the racism, and mostly the giant political effect he had on this country in this election and how he sold people out, how he sold himself out, how he sold his audience out, and he just became the mainstream media that he always complained about. They don't address that. They always like, it was so bad. It moved the needle for comedy and this, that, right? But it moved the needle for the election more, because we could say comedy or Joe Rogan's podcast and its influence on the world, right? And the podcast has a bigger influence than Joe Rogan's comedy because, frankly, nobody likes Joe Rogan's comedy. And if you need proof of that, go look on IMDb and all the other websites on his Burn the Boats special, right? And you'll see that nobody likes it. And the people that do, honestly, this is my opinion, honestly, if somebody tells Joe Rogan, including all these clowns, that they like their special, it's obvious they're lying to him. Nobody liked that special. And if you ever hear that, my opinion, they're lying to you. For whatever reason, I don't know, but they're so insecure that they can't tell you. I don't know. But point is they don't address the real issue, like the politics, the selling out, being a puppet for propaganda. Those are the main things, people. And if you ask a lot of people why they quit Joe Rogan, they will tell you mostly the COVID and moving into a political, like podcast, more political. Well, basically, every podcast has something politics now. And, people could go political, right? People change, people evolve. But the main problem is you became a puppet for the Republican Party. And we may never know what transactions led you to that, like monetary transactions, gifts, some kind of power or whatever. But it's obvious that Joe Rogan made a big switch, and he sold out all his fans because he acted like an everyman. I'm a person for everybody. And then that's it. Next day, he's a Republican propaganda machine. And these guys don't address that. You will see that because the reason is Marc Maron and anybody. I'm not Republican or Democrat, and I am extremely nervous about what's going on in this country. I mean, I was looking just before that, and there's protesters like literally fighting ICE. And I watched an ICE agent. I don't know what it is. I guess it just shoots paint powder. But the dude was literally standing. I can't do it on the camera. Like 2 feet from the guy's face, and he just pulls it up and blasts the dude in the face. I don't know if it had a beanbag, but it left all this like dry paint dust or whatever. And it's crazy. And we're about to start a world war, You know what the craziest thing is, which really made me nervous? The New York Times did an interview with Donald Trump, and they asked him, are there like basically, I don't know how they worded it, but basically, are there any checks and balances to what you do? And he said, the only thing I worry about is my own morals. So our country no longer relies on the law, the court system, the Supreme Court, the Congress, the House of Representatives, all to be checks and balances. And they asked him about international law. He's like, why should I care about international law? And so he is just doing, and he also said, I depend on what I see as psychologically fit for this country. Right? And I'm thinking to myself, a man that is a PDF, that's name is all over, his best friend was Epstein, all over the Epstein files, a man that literally bankrupt every single business he had while calling himself a business leader, a man that is a trust fund spoiled little fucking kid with baby hands that lashes out at anybody that says anything. We're relying on that man's moral compass to govern the whole country. Literally, he sees himself as the law. He is I don't want to say it because there's a lot, but one could make an argument that he has now become a dictator. With that statement, and you look at everything he's done, how he's in bed with Israel, how he's allowing a genocide, how he ramped up the drone bombings, especially in Yemen, how he's trying to take over the world. This is why we're mad at Joe Rogan. Because he put that man in office, and then he's acting like, oh, what did I do? Man, them ICE raids are so bad. Why is he doing that? You know, he shouldn't have said that about Rob Reiner. You know? And they never address it.
I'm playing a little bit more.
Well, actually, to that, let me add
Please.
something that I've always thought was interesting. I actually think I asked Louis about this, and I think he agreed. Without Dane Cook, and people shit on Dane Cook, without Dane Cook, you don't get Louis C.K. Because Dane really brought, like, MySpace brought comedy in, and then people went, wait a minute, I like this, but I want something different and a little more thought out. And I honestly think you don't get Louis. Louis stand-up doesn't blow up as much if you didn't have Dane. I
agree. It opens the door, and it makes people kind of interested, and like, I have this weird thing, and maybe this is in hip hop as well.
You know what I got? Yep, and that's exactly what I was going to go to. It's like, it's the same thing like hip hop. Joe Rogan is one of the biggest guys on the planet when it comes to comedy. We agree, right?
Of course.
So if I talk about him and I talk shit,
reputation-wise,
yes. Reputation-wise, right? Mm-hmm. That's called rage baiting, but he's not raging. He's just doing it in a smooth way. If I say his name, more people are going to watch it.
Of course.
So people say, now that's the thing with people, a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true in some cases, but then there's some cases, like in Joe Rogan's instance, where they didn't watch it. Half his audience left, and he does get the episode here and there when he has a big person on, or maybe someone important politically that does well, but it's nothing compared to what he did. And this week, I looked a couple, like 2 or 3 days ago, he went down to number 7 in the Apple podcast, and he was passed by that grifter Mel Robbins. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of grifters at the top of that podcast thing. And, you know, I get this comment all the time. You're just jealous. You're just trying to get fame off of Joe Rogan. And honestly, I don't look about it like that. In my real life, I don't start drama. It has to come to me. And then it has to like sit for a little while, and they have to keep pressing. And then when I need to respond, I respond, and that's how I handle things. The reason I did this in the beginning is because I saw his special, and something inside me just, I don't know, was just like, go make a video about it. And I want to speak out. And now what continues me on this path is like, I am just seeing our world crumble around us, and it's all because of these con men, these shady snake oilsmen podcasts. And another point that they're acting, anyways, and that's why I continue. I don't look at it as like, oh, if I put Joe Rogan, I'm going to get fame. Fame, what's that? I just want to speak out. I want to, maybe get a better quality. You could have all the fame if we could get comedy back. I'm cool with that. You could have it all. I don't want that. I just want comedy back. I want our country back. I want people to be rational and stop hating on everything. And Joe Rogan is promoting that. And notice they don't bring up that the comedy really is shit.
People are not entertaining. They'll just say a person's name to get in that algorithm.
Of course. Well, that's what it kind of seems what he's doing right now.
Of course.
Which I'm going, Maron doesn't need to do that, though. Maron's already really respected and huge. It just seems weird that he's...
Maybe it's resentment.
He's not doing it to get in the algorithm. He's doing it because he feels compelled to do it. Because he sees what everybody else sees, and he don't need to get in the algorithm. The reason he's doing it is he sees what everybody else sees. He sees how he's ruined comedy, how he's ruined this country, and he is as big. Well, I mean, not Joe Rogan, but he's huge. Everybody knows Marc Maron, especially in the Obama days when he had that huge podcast. I mean, he's big enough, and he's a big enough voice where people will listen. And he should. When something, I get it, we can have beefs, we can hate on shit, right? But I think we're past that. We're looking for accountability. We're looking for these people to stand up to people. And we're also looking for them just to quit comedy and go to the island. And then all the real fans, they can go to the island with them. And then we just don't ever have to hear a bad joke again from these clowns. But they keep saying, why is this happening? And Marc Maron keeps telling them, and then they're making up their own shit story for it. And they're not listening to the points. Politics, bad comedy, selling out your fans.
On tours
Listen,
of different
the
podcasts.
same thing happens in rap. People say 50 Cent name, and if 50 responds, that person will get the most press they ever had.
50, by the way, is one of the most entertaining followers on Instagram.
He's fucking trolls everybody.
He's so
funny as fuck.
fucking
Shout
funny,
to 50
dude.
and Eminem, everybody. But the whole thing is what they do is they troll because now you got a guy that never was on TMZ. 50 just dissed him. Now he's on TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got a guy that's never had no interviews on Pods. Now you're on Pods. If you talk about an Eminem, a 50 Cent,
and they respond,
a Joe Rogan, and they respond,
they put
that's
you on.
Press for you.
And there is a lot of that. But here's my thing, though. Marc Maron doesn't really need to do that, and it does seem like that's
but that
what
other
he's doing.
comedian was talking shit about Joe Rogan recently. What was that guy's name? The tight.
Also, you have to understand, Marc Maron's smart, and I'm sure he knows this. Marc Maron's one of the only people that can get at Joe Rogan, and where he'll address it publicly, and it'll get to him so bad that he has to say something. I mean, you have to look. These guys are so dumb, they don't even see the long game. Always play the long game, folks.
Anthony Jeselnik was talking
same
shit.
thing with Jeselnik.
Yeah, he's talking wild shit about Rogan.
I can get it. I mean, like, I'll be the guy who's...
And I will admit, it's kind of convenient timing that they all do it right before their comedy specials come out, especially Mark and Anthony. But Mark has been steadfast about this, and he's gone way past his comedy special release date, and he's still going, and good. Because Rogan's going to hear it from Mark. That's what a lot of people aren't understanding. Rogan will hear it from Mark. He may not accept it, but when he's thinking in his head, he knows what's up, and he's thinking of a way to manipulate it so he can present it to his audience so he looks like, oh, there's no accountability for me, you know?
Who defends Maron.
Please.
And
No, and I'm a fan of Maron.
Right.
I've hung out with Maron before, a handful of times, not many times.
I feel like
but I really liked him. I really liked Maron.
Yeah.
We did Goddamn Comedy Jam together.
Yeah.
He was so good. He fucking played guitar and sang. I was excited.
Listen, we're not, what they call in the rap game is glazing. We're not glazing Joe Rogan.
No, I get it.
Look, we're saying he's good at.
They're about to glaze him. Watch. Remember what I said? That you have to be actually stupid to say Joe Rogan is a good comedian? I haven't seen this. But usually when they preface something with, we're not glazing, but
he does, right?
He's created an
But
ecosystem for
clickbait
comedians.
is clickbait.
Right. But I think...
Clickbait is clickbait. Motherfuckers talk about me for no reason. Motherfucker could make up a story right now about me that's totally fake and go semi-viral.
that is what happens. A lot of people don't do their research. Their clips don't add up to what they're saying. But usually the people that get through and make an impact on whatever, YouTube genre they're doing, usually those people do, right? That's why you see a lot of YouTubes that don't make it, or a lot of YouTubes that are stuck below 3 to 100 followers. They can't get to 500, is because they're terrible at what they do. Good things, right? Good things will always rise to the top unless something holds them down. And in real life, that happens to be you happen to get held down a lot. But I think with the internet, as much censorship and spying that they do on it, I think if something resonates with people, it naturally keeps going, right? It grows a fan base. The problem is, like with YouTube, is a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand how to cater to whatever they're doing, how to cater to their fan base. And you'll see a lot of these YouTubes that don't grow, and they're the ones that'll say they're better than everybody, but they don't grow at all, right? I mean, you know, the haters, they say that. I get that comment all the time. You should do this, you should do this. And they'll have 100 followers, and their channel's 10 years old. And they just posted a video yesterday with 5 views. Anyways, I'm starting to get into this topic because some of it don't make sense, right? But yeah, I think people that resonate with people get through. You know, that's why Joe Rogan originally broke through the podcast world. But now he's having so much trouble because those people he resonated with, he no longer resonates with, and he kind of just resonates with one crowd. And that's the excrement of society.
9,000 views, maybe 5,000
Yeah, because all that.
views.
Yeah, but that's
right.
not
Chill. But if I answer it back, I'm going to give them more views if they're a nobody. So what he's doing, why I say it's rage baiting, is because you have no reason to talk about this man.
And
you're just talking about this man because you know it's going to get you traction.
I disagree. Let me tell you why. And I agree with you. I agree and disagree. I think if you're someone who's wanting to bit their podcast,
you have some fucking balls.
Yes?
Tony.
No, I'm so sorry.
Whatever you're saying, I
don't know why I'm getting so passionate right now. I apologize.
Here's the thing. I never look at it as clickbait. I look at it as I'm doing something. I just have a lot to say this. Sorry. I look at it as like I'm doing something, and some things work and some things don't, and then I get better at it. I like making the videos. I like sitting here. You know, I go through these clips. You know, I don't watch them. I fast forward and listen for keywords, or I just read the transcript, Control F, find a keyword, and go through. There's the secret, folks. But how do I say this? I just kind of hate how, you know, these guys all talk shit about people, but when we do the same thing that they do, you know, they get offended, they get sensitive, and it's called clickbait, right? I don't think that's fair. You know, I do reaction videos, or I'll react to other people's videos, or I'll find clips and reaction, right? And that's what I like to do. And something else that you didn't know is people always like, you're reacting to your acting. Yeah, but I've given back because everybody I react to gets views, gets subscribers. You look at all of the comedy commentary channels that have come up in like since what, May, June? There's been a bunch that have come up. I reacted to them when nobody knew them. And now some got bigger than me or as big. Y'all didn't see that in that. And that was my purpose is these guys all put each other on their podcasts, and my reaction video was showing viewers other people. You think reaction videos are dumb? It's called fucking marketing. And I wanted to help out people and put other people on so that maybe we could take comedy back again if enough voices were out there. So I don't see what I do as clickbait. I'm standing up mainly for the country part and the comedy part, right, of all the complaints about him. And I'm trying to get people to understand we have to do better. We can't just bring back racism right into the forefront of our country. We got to get over that. We got to accept people. We got to come together. But that's a tall task, isn't it? And I just hope enough people could figure that out.
I didn't actually.
No.
It's just because
counterpoint. It's
right.
conversation.
Cool,
Yeah.
Your counterpoint.
No, well, the thing is with Maron and Jeselnik, these guys are comedy. They love. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt is that they love comedy. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think Rogan is great at comedy, like stand-up comedy.
Woo! Damn, somebody said it. Look at this dude on the left looking at him like, bro, did you just said that, didn't you? That's what's going in his head. And the stutters are part real because his head is like exploded that this guy just said it. Look at this dude right here. Look at him. They're all trying to look mean like, I hope I can be on the JRE one day. I hope I could be on the JRE one day. You know what? Here's another thing. People always say, you just want to go on Joe Rogan. No, I'm not really about that fame, and I'm not going to do any interviews. And I've said this before. If I do an interview, it's going to be with Andre 3000. That's the only guy I'm going to do. And a Chef Marco. Those are two. Two are the heroes. You know Andre's the dude. Andre's a once in a many lifetimes person. Right? God, Andre 3000. Happy Valentine's. Dude, you know what? The Love Below happens to be one of my favorite albums. I like all the other Outcasts, but when Andre was on his own, you know, I backpacked Europe. It was just me in a backpack, and I rode trains, flew planes, and automobiles. And yeah, the whole time I was out there for like over 6 months just exploring Europe. And every time I got on a train or I was walking through a city, I had that album bumping. Where are my panties? I know most people won't probably get it. I don't know how many Outkast fans are on my channel. But anyways, he said it.
Let's be honest.
We not
okay.
look. We not.
Let me finish.
Let me just say one thing. Not
I
to
think
cut you
Rogan's
off.
a genius. And,
Look.
See? He knows it too. You know what, folks? We are right. And I have something. Louie's going to admit we were right here in a second, too. I'm going to show you this other clip. Boy, you know what? It is a day. I am stuck inside. I can't leave my house. There is so much goddamn snow. And then right before I found all my clips today, and right before I was about to leave to go get something, the blizzard came, and they just cleared the. There's like several feet of snow, and they just cleared the sleet. And you know, it's just tough because I live up on a mountain, right? And you have to go uphill. Like once you come off the highway, you have to just go uphill, and you could get out, but you might not get back in. But anyways, I'm stuck, and I didn't know it was going to be a day of celebration. They have all said we were wrong. Ooh, ooh. Lord have mercy. I'm going to collect an offering because the Spirit has come upon me. Come on, bring out the offering buckets. I will take $9.99. Everybody, get it in there or the Lord will hate you. That's the kind of day it is, folks. And go ahead. $9.99 in the comments. All of y'all that said I was wrong, go ahead, donate now. Donate now. Because they're starting to admit it. While you're still lying to yourself. Because you don't want to accept it's an itsy bitsy teeny weeny Joe Rogan in a bikini. Joe Rogan is so tiny. I am just, you know what? Just hearing that just changed the whole mood of this video. Fuck all the haters. You were wrong. You were wrong. All of y'all come in my comments like little men sucking up to other men. Jeez. You get out of here. This is MySpace. You got Ross with like 5 rows of size 7 and 8 shoes, while I got just the top shelf with fucking McDonald color tennis shoes and then just a straight white pair of Adidas. That I get one top shelf. You get 5 rows. So I get this. Have you ever look at him? I'm telling you that Ross game is it'll make you want to become president and take over Ross. That's how mad it makes you. You know what you get? Have you ever seen like just the nasty? You know what's crazy? Have you seen the shoes they get for me? They get them big white Adidas and the shoe part will be white. And then the sole, you know, the sole, right? That connects to the shoe, that shit will be like some manila piss yellow color. How does that even happen? That's what they give to us tall guys. Mismatched white shoes. And then some fucking soccer cleats that look like rainbows and chocolate ice cream combined. Mostly purple. Purple is the color, man. Somehow the tall guys always get stuck. Who wants? It's LeBron James. He did that, didn't? God damn. You know, he made basketball worse. He tried to say that Jordan was not the GOAT. Even when LeBron just loses just as many championships, and Jordan just said, I believe I can fly. 6 ringers. I messed that up. 6 rings on his fingers, never lost, baby. Jordan is the GOAT. Just because he wasn't alive doesn't mean you have to make shit up about LeBron.
I think the mothership is incredible.
That's what I'm saying. Is he's saying he's giving you the mothership experience. I went to the first time to the mothership in Austin.
Bro. The mothership, they all worship. You know what? You know what it is? They all know it. See, he's starting to laugh because he knows it too. And this guy is so desperate. He's like, you know, he sits down. He sits down and he gets on his knees beside his bed and he goes, one day I will be on Rogan. Oh my God, I will be on Rogan and Jordan Peterson will be there. You know, you shouldn't lie just to get on Rogan. You know, that's just a bad thing. Don't lie to get on Rogan there, you know. Oh, masculinity, that's the problem. Joe Rogan. He's just a little Joe Rogan. Anyways, I'm having fun. Because look, when you speak the truth, at first, you will be criticized. You will be mocked, you know? And then people will start to realize the truth, and then the truth finally becomes the truth. Or is revealed as the truth. It's always been the truth, but it gets accepted as truth. And that's a better way to say it. You know, I'm not good with words. And this is the realization. And you could see it live. You saw Louis, you know Louis. Little Louie's a little disgusting dude, in my opinion. I am here to provide you with your hate. And if you get more viewers, then you just got more of the stupidest population of the world. But little Louie, I mean, you know, he probably has a thing with Joe too. You know, Louie's down for everything. So he's probably been with Joe, you know? He's probably been with Joe. Hey, and earlier in this episode, he said if he could have went to Epstein, if he would have went to Diddy, he would have. And he would have gotten a whole lot of trouble. You keep saying these guys aren't like this, guys. But we've all been saying, is Joe on the Epstein list? These are the people he has on the podcast and he hangs around with. There's just more facts. And we already knew they went to sex parties anyways. We have them on record. There's videos if you want to find it. Even hosted them. And he did go to an Epstein party with Naomi Campbell. We do have that on record too. But look at how everybody around him is into that stuff. There is not a solid, trustworthy guy in the Rogansphere.
Like a couple of weeks ago, Tony Hinchcliffe
I'm talking
show.
pure stand-up. You think Rogan is top guy, pure stand-up? So let me finish what I'm trying to say.
I'm not.
Woo! He is throwing heaters. Nolan fucking Ryan showed up on the podcast today. Do you see this guy? This guy can't answer the question. He's like, hold on, comedy? Hold up. Let's talk about the mothership experience. He is ducking and dodging. You know, like the Biggie song, stick and move, stick and move.
Go ahead.
Finish your
Right,
point.
right.
Finish.
So you look at Rogan, he's not a pure great comic that I would be like, oh, I love he's whatever. And I would
He knows it. What a day, folks. What a time to be alive.
argue that if Rogan only had comedians on his podcast, no one would have problems. But Rogan has had people on his podcast. Now, I could fall into this, right? He has people on his podcast who you hear them and you go, oh, I believe what that person's saying. But a lot of times they're fucking spreading a lot of bullshit. So I think a lot of people get on that and they go, yeah, man, this guy's put a lot of people in the zeitgeist who, no offense, man, come on, fucking, what's the guy from InfoWars?
Dave Smith.
Dave Smith, come on, right? You know what I mean? So, Alex Jones. You have people on here doing this shit, right? So I think I get the anger going that way. And then you look at his stand-up and you go, someone with that kind of power, who's that, it just isn't that great of a comic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, you can't put that guy up
I feel like when you on top, the hate always comes. Yeah. I don't care.
That is, you know, you could be good. Look at how many shitty people get hate. Are they good too? You know, it's not like that. This guy, oh man, boy, you could get him to do anything so he could get power. This guy, he's laughing. He ain't even saying nothing. He is, but you know, Rogan's going to watch that. And one day they'll meet. What if Rogan walked in right now? He was like, you in the red hat, you said I wasn't a good comic. And then they go, yes, my loyal servant. And then this guy right here, he'd be like, I didn't say nothing. And Joe Rogan would be like, you laughed. How dare you laugh in the name of greatness of the Roganites. Oh, it's so good. It's so good today. It's so good. They're finally fucking being challenged. Y'all want to have a party tonight? Maybe I'll do a live stream. You'll see me.
Who you are, rapper.
Of course, but not
Lewis,
from Maron or
I feel like your hate is gonna always come when you on top.
Of course.
I would also Rogan.
Let me the point about Rogan. Here's the thing, ready? So comedy is extremely subjective. I've watched Rogan level a fucking right. That's hard to do. Period. So to say it's not like
no, you haven't. You heard a laugh track. You know Rogan has special speakers that are tuned to people's voices, to human voices, and he's installed them all like hidden in the walls. He's installed them hidden in the walls, all throughout the 2 rooms in the mothership. And whenever Rogan goes, he hires a person specifically for this job to hit the speaker button so the laugh track goes, and it sounds like people are actually laughing in the room. I mean, it's a theory anyways, because nobody's laughing. These guys are so cucked up. You got me cucked up, Joe Rogan's boy. I'm Joe Rogan's boy, got me cucked up. These guys are little fucking simp bitches.
Rogan stinks in comedy. Rogan,
I'd say he stinks.
Flying Monkeys in Space was one of my favorite specials.
He said he stinks. He's going to say Flying Monkeys in Space. Isn't that the one where he humped a stool? What a fucking loser you are, Louis. You see why people hate you? Because you's just a bitch. A bitch. Anyways, he is such a little worthless turd of a human being. He has no moral compass. He has no integrity. He can't stand up or against anything. He just folds. And that's why he had to touch somebody's genitals on stage in his comedy special.
Specials coming up. That was a fucking incredible special. He was really, really smart. He was
Shut
also
the fuck
very
up.
Heady, well thought out comedy when people weren't really doing that. When Dane Cook was on top, Rogan was talking.
He just called Rogan heady. And in the great words of Maury Povich, that's a lie. Bro, I can't stand these people. This is why society doesn't work. Because if you let people like Louis have a voice and he somehow gets an audience, he just makes people stupider. Like Louis, there is nobody but loser-ass edgelord incels that listen to Legion of Skanks. And they're just the pits of it. You can't trust what they say. But everybody else that knows of this guy thinks he's a fucking dirtbag. And he is a dirtbag.
about crazy shit, right? So to each his own. It's not even really the issue. I mean, I understand the idea of platforming people that have different opinions, but it's like, I don't know, you're listening to a comic talk shit with another person. If you're taking that as absolute truth, that's kind of on you. The reality,
they're not talking shit. They're talking about everyday fucking problem. You see this denial. This is why you don't listen to Louis, because he's framing it like Trump's framing all the craziness he does. No, she didn't get murdered. She launched off a ramp, did a triple backflip, and tried to land on top of the officer. That's what Trump's doing. Right? He makes shit up. All Trump does is make shit up. And this is what this dude's doing too. He ignores, even though this guy just told him, he's still ignoring it. If you wanted to understand why people hate you, why people hold you accountable for what you've done to our country and the state of comedy, then you have to listen. But they don't want to hear it. They don't want to get off this gravy train. And the people that are kissing his ass, the rest of these notice he don't say nothing either. He's like, nope. All the other people want to get on that gravy train. It's sickening how people sell themselves out just to get a little bit more money, just to get a little bit more fame. It's crazy. It's crazy. I get it. Life can be easy or something. But at the end of the day, I want to look back on my life and go, look, I made a lot of mistakes. But when it counted, I took chances. I took risks. And I always stood up for what I believed. And I stood up for others. And I stood up for people, the fucking people that matter and make this motherfucking world run. I did that. And I didn't sell out to money. I didn't sell out to another man that's 5'4" with size 11 shoes. You know they ain't the size of his feet. You need to get the fuck out of there with that bullshit. Talking about some dolphin flappers on Joe Rogan. You tell me Joe Rogan got some fucking beaver paddles? Just blah, 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 blah. You tell me he walk around like Bozo the Clown in the little clown shoes? Get out of here.
Maron had Obama on, who was an actual fucking war criminal, who did fucking bomb Syria and murder children all over the world. They're all criminals, every fucking president. So what are we pretending that one is better than the other? The difference is Obama had a more decorum. He held himself with more respect, and I appreciated that because he represented this country. But the reality is, these are all fucking pieces of shit. Let's get real. And to put
yes, they are. And guess what? We did call out Obama. We did call out Bush. I think Bush's was my real awakening. And being in the military, boy, that'll wake you the fuck up. About what the world really is. I always wanted to be on the side of people, but yeah, my early 20s and mid 20s is when I really just woke up to what the government is. The delusion, right? My first day of basic training, they put us in a fucking cattle cart and drive us to the barracks. And they say, put your motherfucking head in the bag. Don't you look up. And I look up and smile, and the dude hit me in the face. I was like, well, I guess this is going to be an awakening. I put my head in the bag. Like this. He just said, Lakatow. What are you going to do about it? Tell on him?
Obama on, it's just as bad as putting Trump on. Let's get fucking real. That was what was going on while he was sitting fucking president. This is a guy who literally children around the world. These are criminals. So this is every politician in the history of our lives and our parents' lives are fucking war criminals and pieces of shit.
So let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
So when I look for that interview, right? Say Shannon goes look for that interview. What do you think it's going to say on the lines? It's not going to say anything else about the interview. It's going to say that he said something about Joe Rogan.
Of course,
do you agree that or not?
About it.
Yeah.
Right. So
This guy is just stuck on like every fucking thing in life relates to hip hop beef, right? It doesn't. Yes, you get attention, but then it goes out into the world, and then people that can think decipher the information and they form their opinion. It doesn't mean that if you get attention, yeah, you can get followers, you can find more people that agree with you, but it varies at various degrees. I am not saying this. We are in trouble, folks. The whole world is. And if you can't see that right now, you're crazy. And Rogan is responsible. I'm going to say it right here. You're going to hear it for the first time right here. And it's going to make people mad. But Rogan is responsible for the next world war. Rogan is responsible for Venezuela. Rogan is responsible for the deportations. For the Gestapo that now wanders our fucking country, snatching up people without due process. Rogan is the reason we have a man that is subjected to his own morals and not the laws of the fucking country that gave him the presidency to enforce the laws of this country. Rogan is responsible for all of it. Not 100%, but he was responsible for his part in that shit. And that's on Rogan. Because no one of us, even as voters, do we have that kind of power. And that's why people are mad. Nobody's sitting here going, man, I hope Joe Rogan turns out, like Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac beef. I hope there's even a Suge Knight. Can we get a Suge Knight? I ain't thinking there. I'm looking for things that prove my point.
Clickbait. You know that a person is going to check that even more because he said something about Joe Rogan. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not 100% disagreeing with you, but I do think that maybe he is trying to push back and he knows he gets something from that, but it's not like completely manufactured. I think he does believe the things he's saying.
It's just weird that Maron, who is widely respected, is making it a point that after he ends his podcast too, that's the thing that he talks about on every show.
Joe Rogan.
The same thing happened with Jeselnik. He had a special to promote, right? And it just seems I'm disappointed in those guys because the reality is I'm an old school comedy fan, right? So I have this thing, and maybe it's the same thing in hip hop. I don't know, but like if you're in it with me, you're in it with me. I don't care if you're a fucking open micer. I don't care if you're a pro that's been doing it for 30 years. There's a camaraderie because we all started from one place. We all got up on that stage for the first time.
So he's describing a good old boys club. Just because we experienced something together, right? We're gonna just not accuse each other anymore of wrong. Sounds like the police. Sounds like our current government, well, every government administration, is why the guy. This is exactly why, because if one of them gets exposed, they look at it as they all are, right? And this is why the guy, the ice agent in Minnesota, nothing's going to happen to him. This is why nothing happens to him. Even when they shoot you cold-blooded right in the street, they still get away with it. So that's his excuse. They always prove the proof. Now he's saying, because we're in a good old boys club, we're going to protect each other. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? And people cry about being banned on an account or on a page when these guys are ruining our fucking country, ruining fucking comedy for banding together and denying any entry or any of truth, any acknowledgement into their little fucking group. They don't want to be responsible for nothing. This is a good old boy club, and here you go. We got it on tape.
The same exact reason. Our friends told us we were funny. We saw comedy somewhere, and we went, like, I want to fucking try that. And for me, that's enough. Like, you're my fucking brother because of that. If I was at a comedy club and somebody was fucking with a comic that I didn't know, I'd step up and fucking say something.
That's you. You love the sport.
I love the sport.
Other people are not like that. Some people are haters.
This is the point. It's like,
we're not a hater. Dude, I could sit down and ask that guy, I can name that guy. He seems to love hip hop. I can name him like 10, 15 hip hop artists. And if he don't say he don't like all of them, he's a hater. We have opinions. opinions and hate are two different things. And just because I don't adopt your opinion doesn't make me a hater. It makes me smarter than you. I said it, take it to the bank.
I'm disappointed that Jeselnik and Maron are sort of making it their initiative to go after a guy who created an ecosystem that maybe you don't agree with his politics, or maybe you don't agree with the people that he's always pushing and putting on, but he created an opportunity for a lot of guys that wouldn't. He's the new Tonight.
So did Pablo Escobar. So did El Chapo. They created opportunity for a lot of guys. Does that make it cool? So did dictators when they took over countries. They created a lot of jobs for a lot of young men, and in turn, for the rest of the population supporting the war machine, they need ammunition, they need food, they need supplies. It created a lot of opportunity. Our government is giving Israel tons of money, which is creating opportunities for them. Is the genocide a great opportunity? Just because someone creates opportunities doesn't make it good.
For the new Johnny Carson, right? And we're talking about guys like me who, like, before I had anything going on, he was like, "Yeah, dude, come on the show. I'm going to promote your special because you do it. You do it just like I did it, right?" And he didn't know my politics. He didn't know anything that I had to say about the world. He just said, "Yeah, dude, come on and promote your special because you're friends with some of my friends, and apparently you're a funny guy, and I want to push funny people out there." And he's had plenty of people that are on the left, plenty of people on the right, scientists, politicians. He stays
super diverse. Yeah.
Super diverse. Yes, he has the Alex Joneses.
Right.
You know what corrupt, terrible people do? When they first meet you, they'll do something nice, right? A gesture. They'll be like, "Oh, just take this money. You need it? Just take this money. Oh, you need this comedy set? Oh, yeah, no problem. Go to it." And once you take it, the next day they go back. Don't ever say anything bad about Joe Rogan. If you do, I wouldn't be surprised if that guy in the red hat on this show, he ain't disappeared. He ain't going to be seen in comedy. And guess what? He definitely ain't going to the Rogansphere. Mothership. He ain't going to the mothership, folks. It's just a fact. He done fucked up. He done broken the Roganites law. Number 2, section 236-A, Roman numeral 3.
Yes, he has the Dave Smiths. Yes, he has the guys that are a little more right-leaning and maybe a little more radical. Yeah, but you want to hear those voices too. Don't you want to get a different perspective in the world?
That's the whole point. We don't want to hear those voices, and we don't want your racist, slurred-filled, 4th grade fucking comedy humor voices. We don't. So no, another point, you're wrong.
So here's the thing.
So Maron wasn't having those guys on, though.
So I'd argue this, right? Now, here's the thing. I want to also say, I'm not standing on this mountain, just somehow I got in here. But, like, my whole thing with Rogan is, man, you need a fact checker, a real fact checker on that podcast with you. Because if I had Alex Jones on, like, I talk to someone about Israel. I go, I'm Team Israel. Then someone goes, Palestine. I go, fuck, I'm that now. My mind changes immediately. But if I had that much money, I'd be like, all right, I need someone here sitting with me who's literally fact checking all of this stuff.
Kind of, but we're free flowing, right? So we talk shit, right?
Yeah, we talk.
We don't want accountability because we are comedians. We don't want to be held accountable for anything we say because it's comedy. We're just shooting the old shit.
Hold on, we talk shit about we talk shit. If you feel like a podcast and the information on a podcast is dangerous, the problem is people shouldn't be fucking listening to a podcast as the truth.
But I do.
Well, people shouldn't be talking about world-changing events and policies and putting election people if they don't want to be taken serious. Right? Do you see how dumb Louis is? Louis needs to go back to the streets. And someone needs to hold his little Louis hand and walk him to elementary school, because apparently that is where he left, because he has a very primitive understanding of the world and arguments in general. I'm gonna stop there. Sometimes.
100% you should be listening to a podcast for entertainment, and that's very often what it is. We were talking about a fucking big rubber.
So why does the news have podcasts? Why are there political? Is it for entertainment or so people can get information? He's acting like podcasts don't have information. It's all, don't you know? Right? He acts like that. Bro, these guys are buffoons. They are just the stupidest, lowest level of human imaginable. And they continue to prove it. They should just not talk. Wouldn't that be great? All their podcasts just disappear. Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful day.
Ball smacking into a guy's head. We're like, I think it's 400 pounds. You don't think it's 400
Are
pounds?
you a conspiracy theorist?
No.
All right. Because sometimes, no, when
Very
he's
deadpan.
when
no.
he's saying no, because when he's saying, you know, I want
No.
the facts. I'm just trying to figure out like, why do you?
I don't
care?
really want the facts.
Me
always with
either.
the
Like,
podcast.
Dude, I lost all respect for that guy. I don't even know who he is. I have no idea who he is. And he is just a simp. That's all he is a simp. He's just sitting there trying. He's mad. He's one of those people like at your work where your boss continually fucks up, shows up late, shows up drunk, whatever it is, right? And they're a completely incompetent boss. He's just sitting there. And those guys all went and ran to Rogan. You know, Louis was just like, Rogan, I got to tell you something. There's a hater. There's a hater.
when I watch an interview, I'm not looking for just the facts.
I don't want the
I
facts
want to be entertained.
on this podcast, but when I used to be a Rogan, I still like Rogan. When I used to listen to Rogan and he had on like these experts, I just trust that they're the experts. And then I would listen to other people be like, oh no, that guy was wildly wrong about that. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
but then that's a
oh,
difference in opinion, and you're listening.
it's not opinion.
Yeah,
Not
but
opinion.
If you're having an expert.
well, listen.
Oh!
Every expert has their own.
Now we know why this guy didn't talk. He just came out the gate dumb. I should have known better. I thought he was smart because he was staying silent. If he wants to stay out of this, that's the best thing to do. Just stay silent. You are not culpable for anything. But he came out the gate. I like this guy. I haven't seen his comedy, but boy, he done showed the cracks right in the Rogansphere dome of influence. And it has begun. The walls are crumbling all around you. Come on down the aisle and get saved. All you Rogans, come on down. Redemption is here.
That I think that they're going to try and draw from, and everybody has. Even that's why you have peer review. So when you're peer reviewing things, people go back and forth.
Which, if you're an expert, peer reviewed, which further you're acknowledging your point was dumb.
And you have difference. He's got Randall Carlson and all these guys that are kind of, people say it's pseudoscience and stuff like that, and they get offended. But to Lewis's point, it's so broad, and he's done more for comedy, I feel, in the past 5 years than
He's done more for
anybody
comedy
has.
than anybody in
Anybody
history.
has.
In
He
history.
built the comedy mothership in Austin.
Weinstein did a lot of things for movies, too. You like that guy? Just because someone does something, rich people donate to charities and hospitals and cancer foundations. These billionaires, you know why? It's not because they care. It's because they get a tax write-off. They get to launder their money through taxes.
Because everything that happened in LA when everything shut down, he just made, I feel like, a mecca, and then he kind of catapulted.
Well, this
Hinchcliffe.
New York is the Mecca. Let's not get
Well,
crazy.
yeah, but I'm saying, as it is right now, I think what Joe does is he gives this like springboard for people just to go to Austin.
Yes, and I think
'Cause it
that's
seems like every
much more
young
positive than negative.
comedian goes
And when
there.
you're listening to a show, and I listen to the same shows that you listen to, I go on the internet, right, and I click on a video. I'm a skeptic. If I see a video, there was a video I saw recently where it
always
was
a maybe.
a kid getting his head shaved, right, and he's freaking out, crying, right, like his dad shaving his head. And the caption of the video said, "This kid made fun of another kid for having cancer, and this is the dad's punishment." And then all the comments are like, "Yeah, good dad, dad of the year, blah blah blah." And I'm going like, I don't know that he did that. It's a great video to get people to click on and to get people behind it. But I've seen plenty of videos with parents shaving their kid's head for just talking back to them, right?
So he has doubt, except when it comes to Rogan. We're going to leave it off right there. He further proves himself, just a primitive, human. They prove their own points wrong all the time. It's amazing. But, let's go to this final clip, and we're going to close it into an ending. What a captivating, beautiful day. Now, you remember I reviewed Louis' comedy special. and it was absolute dog shit. And I had all the Louis fans tell me I was wrong. And Louis himself got my video taken down. And then I made a video about Louis taking my video down. And within 10 minutes, Louis showed up in my comments claiming not to do it. How do you get to my page so quickly if you weren't already there taking down my copyright or giving me a copyright? So everybody told me I was wrong. Everybody said, Louis, you know, I let the special go. I looked. It didn't get that many views like all the other good comedy specials. So let's hear what Louis has to say today about that comedy special.
Yeah, really.
If you go on my Twitter right now, if I just post simply, "How you guys doing?" It's gonna be 30 people being like, "Dude, I want to fucking your son. I'm coming to your house right now," and then we'll post my address and my fucking pictures, like screenshots of my home.
Dude, media. I mean, hard ones don't even hurt anymore.
No,
the media, the ones who go, not my cup of tea. I'm like, oh God, he's a real medium talent.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The ones that hurt for my special, it was like, it was okay.
Yeah, God, yeah. Because you wanted to care.
It
like they
doesn't
went to
bother
watch.
me.
The hate doesn't bother you.
Because your haters watch you more than the people that actually like you.
It's true. It is very true.
You don't feel like that, Zach?
There's a guy whose entire Twitter is just responding to my Wordle score. And then if I do good, he'll tell people he looks up the answer to try and look smart. Motherfuckers come to me every day.
And this is the one that really.
You see, they really do like take all this hate personally, right? I mean, I don't even know who my haters are. I've been sent links and stuff, but I forget about them. I don't care. I'm gonna do what I do regardless. You know, and that's the mindset you have to have, and you have to accept that you're gonna get hate. And who cares? You have to look at, that's why I always have profile pictures. Show me who you are. I know people like your looks, but we all do it. Stop lying to yourself like you don't. Especially ladies. Ladies, you are the most judgmental of other women than anybody else on this planet. Even worse than cats. Cats are so judgmental. And ladies are worse than cats. They judge everybody. Ooh, look at her over there. Why did she wear that? You know that makeup just don't match her skin tone. She should have known better. You do. You judge everything. And everybody acts when I post the video up like we don't. Get the fuck out of here. It's the first thing you do. I don't know where it's going with that. But I just wanted to say, quit acting like people. Oh, how dare you address someone's appearance? Yeah, I'm going to do it again because that's what I've been doing my whole life. You look at somebody and you make a judgment. And if you don't, I challenge you right here. Look on the screen at these two people. See what your reaction is. Don't lie, because I know what you're motherfucking thinking. That's right. I'm right again. Damn, this is a good day.
Gets to you probably.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
All them guys that hate you guys, all the people, I realize all the people that hate me watch me more.
Yeah.
There's people that show me love and shout to them. I always show me love when I do numbers.
Of course.
But your haters will watch you even more. They watch you 2 or 3 times.
For us, it's always like, I hate, this fucking sucks. And he said this. And I'm like, yeah, an hour and 15 minutes into the thing you've been watching, you fuck. I don't have an hour and 15 to watch something I like.
It's a weird thing. It's like, why is when you watch a TV show, and it's kind of like Game of Thrones, right? Last season sucked, right?
Ugh.
But I still watched it.
Yeah.
I still watched every episode.
It was a ritual.
And I still love the show.
Right.
But I still was like, this fucking sucks. Like, this season sucks. And that's, I think, what happens very often with podcast fans and probably music fans as well. They evolve and it becomes boring. And then they're on the other side of sort of the same thing, which is like love and hate. It's sort of like, it's an emotion and it's a connection.
Especially with music, because they're like, oh, do it like your last album.
Yes.
I wish it was like that album.
Yes.
Listen to my old shit.
That's the thing that keeps me going, though, because my last special didn't get great reviews. And I keep on thinking, I was like, you know what? Eminem had an album that everyone said sucked. The
Recovery, yeah.
He came out afterwards. He was okay with it.
He just admitted that his comedy special didn't do well, and then he compared it to Eminem having a bad album, so he called his comedy special bad, and then he said it sucked. So Louis, you got my video taken down. That was absolutely fucking correct. And now you're admitting it. Daddy's home. I was right. You were right. We were all right. In a good day. In a good day. You know, Louis is absolutely useless, but he was useful today because he admitted the truth. You know, when you tell the truth, first they will hate you and persecute you. Then it'll start to sink in. And then the truth that has always been the truth no longer lives in the darkness, but comes out into the light. I was born in the darkness. Anyways, it's a good day to be right. And we are. Thank you. This is a long one. I hope you enjoyed it. I kind of went nuts. And, that's just the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart today. Anyways, let me know what you think of the comments. Peace.
Do you like to bang? You don't stay.